Ladies and gentlemen, we all saw that last week CEO of United Health, Brian Thompson, was sadly gunned down. Well, I'm going to say sadly, but some people are celebrating this, but I'm going to say sadly because I have a soul. He was gunned down in New York City outside of a Hilton Hotel, and they finally found the killer. His name is Luigi Mangione. He seems to be a smart guy because he was valedictorian at his high school, but he wasn't smart enough to not get caught while still carrying evidence almost a week later. This goon. Luigi got packed in a McDonald's while using his fake ID. I don't even know why you'd be needing an ID at McDonald's. Are they like selling alcohol at McDonald's now? He got caught using the McLovin ID card. And my heart goes out especially for Mario. I'm sure he's devastated right now that his brother's getting put in the clink for life. I mean, who's gonna help him find and save Princess Peach? But on a serious note, look, I understand why he had the anger and thought to kill the CEO of a healthcare company he believes is responsible for ruining his life. And I'm not trying to excuse him, but what I'm saying is America's healthcare system is a legalized drug cartel. Let's be honest, these people are criminals. It is a partnership between the government and private insurance companies to set prices of ordinary medication and procedures that should cost a couple hundreds of dollars, and they charge tens of thousands of dollars for those simple procedures and medications. And I understand that it is a incredibly fraudulent and corrupt system, but we just cannot go around killing people. On the day of the assassination, obviously we had retards on Twitter and Reddit celebrating this goon, praising him and calling him a hero. And I'm so tired of this eat the rich horse shit that never works and never has in the history of the world because it just leads to anarchy. And when anarchy ensues, all these people on Reddit celebrating, they're the ones that are going to get fucked up first. Anarchy does not lead to a fair and equitable society. The goal should be to change laws to govern people's lives so that they can have maximum amount of opportunities. You cannot just go around shooting people that you don't like without having a trial, because you wouldn't feel the same way if someone decided they also do not like you and they decide to kill you. And if people don't feel sorry about the death of the CEO, that's fine. But celebrating this is going to normalize this, and then it will embolden copycats, and it will affect people who are not CEOs of billion-dollar corporations. It will be a slippery slope where normal, regular people are getting killed for what they say. And then it will end up like a Gotham City style situation. We all know that many people from many countries around the world feel that they have been slighted by the United States of America. And they think that the US citizens are also responsible for the destruction of their lives because the ghouls that run this country say that it's in the name of freedom. And you know what some of those people that hate America do? Some of them say, let's fly a couple of planes into some buildings in New York City. That's where this kind of thinking gets you. Now, that is an example of a foreign threat. Imagine this becoming Imagine that type of thing becomes a domestic threat where it becomes a really big problem to the point where the people in power decide that you don't deserve some of your freedoms anymore, and they decide to make new laws like the Patriot Act, or you get a Patriot Act 2.0. Luigi's politics were all over the map, and you can't really put him in a specific box on what he believes. You can't like title it, but here's one of his I'd say idols, because he read Theodore John Krasinski, aka the Unabomber. He read his book and he gave a glowing 4-star review of what he thinks of the Unabomber. So let's read that. Clearly written by a mathematics prodigy, reads like a series of lemurs on the question of the 21st century quality of life. It is easy to quickly and thoughtlessly write this off as a manifesto of a lunatic in order to avoid facing some of the uncomfortable problems it identifies, but it simply is impossible to ignore how persistent many of these predictions about modern society have turned out. He is a violent individual, rightfully imprisoned, who maimed innocent people. While these actions tend to be characterized as those of a crazy Luddite, however, they are accurately seen as those of an extremely political revolutionary. He had the balls. A take I found online that I think is interesting is he had the balls to recognize that peaceful protest has gotten us absolutely nowhere, and that at the end of the day, he's probably right. All barons haven't listened to environmentalists and they fear him. Here's my favorite part. When all forms of communication fail, violence is necessary to survive. He sounds like the avid Hassan Piker viewer. You may not like his methods, but to see things from his perspective, it's not terrorism, it's war and revolution. These companies don't care about you, or your kids, or your grandkids. They have zero qualms about burning down the planet for a buck. So why should we have any qualms about burning them down to survive? We are animals just like everything else on this planet, except we've forgotten the law of the jungle and bend over to our overlords. You see this type of thinking, here's the problem with it. When we live like this, what happens, especially today, is there will be goons that will kick the door down in your house, take your shit, and take your wife and kick you out of your own house, and there's nothing else to do. And we don't do that because we're a civilized society. Violence never solved anything is a statement uttered by cowards and predators. And he lived by those words. He went out and he walked it like he talked it, as Quavo says. I did a little bit of digging, and by a little bit of digging, I mean one Google search. And this guy is nowhere near as big of a anti-capitalist as I thought. He comes from a family of extreme wealth. He comes from a wealthy family. And matter of fact, the funniest part of this whole story is that his family made their fortune from the medical industry. His great grandfather founded a nursing home which he worked in when he was a kid. Nepotism. And guys, I don't think you understand how rich this family is. They're so rich that they own a resort, a country club, and they have their own radio station. This guy's politics is, to me, it's so difficult to understand because you can't put him in a defined box like is he left, right, whatever, because you would think that he's an anti-capitalist guy that wants to eat the rich, or that's what you would have thought if you had seen all these morons on X glazing him for the past week. But it really doesn't make any sense. He's a fan of Elon Musk, a fan of Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan. He's retweeted some posts from Andrew Huberman. He seems like he's like right-wing, center-right type of guy, because we'd assume all those people I just named are right-wing personalities. And all of the liberal crackpot women that were fawning over him, saying that that let him do anything to them, are gonna look real stupid when they find out that he's a right-wing or maybe right-of-center type of guy, and they just admitted on the internet that they are attracted to right-wing guys. Basically, what I've gathered over the past few days is that everyone is okay with the anarchy. Everyone is happy and ready for the violence. That's all they want right now. They've had enough. They just want violence. Um, I personally, I get why he did it. I don't get why he did it. No, no, no. Let me not say that. I see the line of thinking that gets you there. It makes sense, but you can't just go around killing people. You know, you can't just because we can't have anarchy. It doesn't lead to a good society. And I'm glad he got packed because we can't just have who the fuck does he think he is? He thinks he's Batman? But anyway, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, like the video and subscribe. This is my first video back since the election, and I took a break, and I'm glad to be back. I'll probably post another video next week. But it's been fun, and in a bit, peace.